Greetings, folks. I'm standing here with the multi-time World Heavyweight Champion, founder of TNA Wrestling, King of the Mountain, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Thanks for joining me.
What a nice introduction. Nice and long.
Yeah, hey, you've done it all. Might as well give you the credit.
How about that? Now, but go ahead.
All right, so I guess let's just talk about TNA. That's why we're here. June 2002, started a company, weekly pay-per-view format. Just what made you decide, you know what, the fans and the workers themselves, they need another alternative?
Well, you know, back in those days, WCW had just been bought by WWE, and I knew there was a void in the marketplace. I'm a third-generation guy, so I've been around the business my entire life, and my grandmother, back in the 40s, went to work for a Greek promoter in Nashville, Tennessee, and she had worked her way up, you know, in the business side of things. She didn't wrestle. But then my father followed in her footsteps and got, as a high school guy, started promoting small shows around the Tennessee area, and then he later wrestled, and then he got into the business side of things. So it sort of runs in the blood, and, you know, I first went to work for WWF in 1993, and then went back and forth between the two big companies and wrestled around the world, and knew when WCW was bought by Vince McMahon that there was no competition. That, you know, I believe without a number two, there's no such thing as a number one. It was just wrestling. So there was a void in the marketplace, and we started, like you said, in June of 2002, and we've come, gosh, such a long way. And in my opinion, in a relatively short amount of time. You know, WWF has been around 40, 50 years. We've been around 7 or 8, and here we are in 2010, and, you know, January 4th we hit the ground running with the addition of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and the names go on and on. So a lot's happened in that 7.5 years, but we are certainly proud of where we're at.
Alrighty, good answer. Now, like you said, you know, without a number two, there can't be a number one. You know, I remember growing up, you know, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. She was very old school, so it was WCW. Okay. The Attitude Era was not allowed in her house, which made me, you know, watch it anyway, because you can't do it. So, so when WCW was bought, you know, and that's all there was, as a fan, you know, you're sitting there like, you know, like you said, there's nothing. My question, I guess, is what makes the fans, because TNA has a lot of them now, what makes them flock to TNA? Is it just because it's different, or? I
think it's a presentation. You know, there's some people that like to drink Coca-Cola, and there's some people that like to drink Pepsi. But you know, the biggest part and the biggest struggle we've had is that, you know, you can maybe refer it to a McDonald's and a Wendy's. If you put McDonald's on Times Square and you put Wendy's, you know, no disrespect to Kansas, but if you put Wendy's out here in Kansas, just the traffic alone. So, you know, we started on the weekly pay-per-views, and then we went to Fox Sports Net, then we went to Spike on Saturday nights late night, and then Thursday nights late night, then Thursday 1 hour prime time, then Thursday 2 hour prime times, and we've done some, you know, things coming up with Monday nights, and we just did a Monday night special. It's getting that exposure, and that's the biggest thing that we've really had to struggle with. And once the whole world knows that TNA is there, then let them make up. We know we're not going to have all the fans. We just are slowly chipping away at the market share. Yeah. And as any wrestling fan would know who followed it in the 90s, the Monday Night Wars, let the games begin, and the only real true winners are the wrestling fan.
Exactly. Because, again, like I said, you know, without, you know, two things there, I mean, the wrestlers themselves suffer, and the fans do suffer. So let's parlay that
and the competition. I mean, and the industry as a whole suffers.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, I think, what was it the other day? I think Eric Bischoff put on his Twitter saying that, you know, WWE is happy that they got like a, you know, a 3.0 or something. You know, back in the Monday Night Wars, both of your companies were pulling 8s and 9s, and, you know,
it's a different world, and with the technology, you know, the Monday Night Wars were one thing in the 90s, but I can't imagine what they can become in 2010 and 2011. Just the stakes are going to be raised even more. We're a much more global business. You know, we just came off a tour of the United Kingdom and Scotland and Wales, and you know, plans to travel all over the world. Just the business has grown. We're starting next month where you can buy our pay-per-view anywhere in the world. You know, if you can buy it domestically here in the U.S., of course, with DirecTV, Dish, you know, cable network, but outside of the U.S., I mean, from wherever you can get internet, and that's literally I think you can get it on the South Pole. so I believe anybody's going to be able to have direct access. Go to tnawrestling.com and buy our pay-per-view, and that's huge. That's truly huge.
And I guess let's kind of modernize it a little bit more with TNA now. I know you just got rid of the 6-sided ring, went to the traditional 4-sided ring. You have all this influx of new talent. What's that like? Seeing people like Hulk Hogan's there now, Ric Flair, who a few years ago, even as a fan of TNA myself, I was like, I honestly thought I'd never see him there.
And a lot of people never thought they'd see Hulk. A lot of things that have happened in TNA since the beginning have happened that people thought, I never thought I'd see that. I mean, Kurt Angle jumping over. Mick Foley jumping over. And then when you have two guys like Hogan and Flair, I mean, Hogan is the Babe Ruth. He's the walking Elvis. Mm-hmm. And then you have Flair, who has sort of personified the traditional sense of professional wrestling, what TNA is all about. Those two big names added to the roster. I mean, I believe the sky's the limit for TNA.
Absolutely. And, again, as a fan, it's just amazing. Like, I tune in every week now. What am I going to see now? So now, you're branching out more live events, more pay-per-views outside of Orlando. What's next for TNA?
Well, we've always, and like I said in the prior interview, sort of crawl, walk, run, and I truly believe that we're almost to that point where we're up sprinting, and we probably are. Just how fast we're going to go, who knows? But I mean, with the addition of talent, everything's just going to get bigger and better. In a short answer.
Okay. We're getting ready to wrap this up here, but what I think I want to do is, if you're okay with it, a little bit of name association with the talent. Let's just start with a good friend of mine, Abyss.
The Monster.
Alrighty. He scares me.
He's an incredible talent.
I got an email from him one time, and I was like, I wasn't sure. I'm still scared for my life.
And you should be.
All right. TNA World Heavyweight Champion, phenomenal AJ Styles.
It's come a long way.
Kurt Angle.
I don't think he has a peer from bell to bell.
Okay. A guy that I'm really liking, Desmond Wolfe.
Breath of fresh air come on the scene because he's got a different style.
Yeah, really good. Motor City Machine Guns.
I don't want to sound too indifferent to them, call them kids, but great guys that know their audience better than people give them credit for.
Alrighty, and you know what? Let's just the last one here, Jeff Jarrett.
Hard worker.
Agreed. All right, well, you just heard my interview here with Jeff Jarrett. Be sure to check out tnawrestling.com. If you want any the great merchandise, it's shoptna.com. Be sure to watch them every Thursday night on Spike TV. Jeff, do you have any final words?
Stay tuned. A lot of big changes, even more big changes coming.
Alrighty, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.